Tonight on CTV News, alleged gunman under arrest.
These are the highest public safety related calls that we go to.
3 men in custody after another extortion-related shooting. How they tried to get away and why police are releasing their mugshots. Also tonight.
The water came up to here.
I was wading through it. I was about probably 4 feet deep in the water.
Starting over after heavy rain, snowmelt, and king tides triggered severe flooding, forcing 150 people and their pets to leave their homes. And
this is just a really exciting moment for the world, but it's especially exciting for Canada.
From an Ontario farm to the far side of the moon, how Canadian astronauts' childhood dream is on the cusp of coming true.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Mi Jung is off tonight. 3 foreign nationals have been charged in an extortion-related shooting in Surrey's Crescent Beach neighborhood yesterday, and police are now releasing their photos. CTV's Isabella Zavarisi has more on the growing anger over the ongoing crisis.
Early Sunday morning, bullets peppered a home in this sprawling Crescent Beach neighborhood. A small fire was also burning outside the property on Crescent Road and 132nd Street. Police believe it was extortion related. The residents were home.
They're understandably shaken up, but thankfully no one was injured.
With ramped up patrols due to these chronic crimes, Surrey police officers were able to track down 3 men who tried to escape in a rideshare. They were arrested and 2 vehicles were seized.
Our officers are in the right place at the right time.
Police are releasing their photos. 21-year-old Harjot Singh, 19-year-old Taranveer Singh, and 21-year-old Dayajit Singh Billing have been charged with 1 count of discharging a firearm. Police say during the arrest, 2 of the men failed to comply.
These are the highest public safety related calls that we go to. We don't know if individuals are armed with a firearm or not. One of the individuals failed to comply with the verbal directions from the officers and began to actively resist. And as we are trained, he was taken to the ground and he was safely handcuffed.
The SPS say all 3 are foreign nationals and have been reported to Canada Border Services Agency. Meanwhile, a group of Surrey residents held another protest on Monday in solidarity with the victims of these crimes.
They feel intimidated. They feel like they can't make a difference. When we stand together for the public good, everybody wins.
It's very alarming, and the safety of our community is at stake right now.
Community members say they're happy to see the recent progress made by authorities.
And this is actually the 2nd one in a row. So this is making people feel a little bit better that, something is happening, and hopefully we are very hopeful that this continues.
Police say there have been 46 extortions in Surrey this year and 29 victims, 17 of which are repeat victims. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Surrey.
Breaking news, 2 teens from Kamloops are among 3 junior hockey players killed in a highway crash in southern Alberta. Lauren Pullen is following this in the Breaking News Centre.
Nafisa, condolences are already pouring in tonight from across the hockey world after this tragic crash. And here's what we know so far. As you mentioned, the 3 teens were on their way to practice this morning when their car collided with a gravel truck about an hour south of Calgary near the small town of Stavely, which is where the teens played. They have been identified as 17-year-old Caden Fine from Birmingham, Alberta, and 18-year-old Cameron Casorso and JJ Wright, both from Kamloops. This photo was posted by the team on social media just a few days ago. In a statement today, the team says it is working closely with authorities and will continue to support players, staff, and family during this difficult time. Now, the investigation into this crash is still ongoing, but we can tell you that the driver of the gravel truck, a 40-year-old man from Stavely, was treated for minor injuries on scene. Nafisa.
Thank you, Lauren. RCMP are investigating a serious collision involving a pedestrian in Coquitlam this morning. Police were called to the 3300 block of David Avenue near Coast Meridian just before 8 a.m. Officials say the pedestrian was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the vehicle remained on scene. Anyone who was in the area and may have dash cam video of the crash is asked to come forward. Small businesses in BC appear to be shifting away from American products. A new survey finds an overwhelming majority are moving away from our southern neighbor as they fear the trade war could intensify. CTV's Craig Krause has more.
The ongoing trade war with the United States has left many small business owners in this province trying to keep up with the constant swings. Now, according to a new survey, more than 60% say they are scaling back their U.S.-related activity. Here's how the numbers break down. So according to the trade war survey by Merchant Growth, 45% of BC's small businesses said tariffs and trade disruptions decreased their profit margin over the past 12 months. On top of that, the survey found that about 1 in 4 said they spent between $5,000 and $25,000 in additional costs, and that's due to tariffs and trade-related fees over the past year, while 28% said they spent between $26,000 to $100,000.
They have lived with the level of volatility that we've not seen in years. I mean, probably more pronounced than on an ongoing basis than COVID.
After absorbing the cost, things could soon get more expensive. More than half of businesses said they plan to raise prices in the next 6 months. This all comes as Canada prepares to enter negotiations for the new Canada-US-Mexico Agreement on Trade, known as CUSMA. Whether it helps or hurts small businesses, well, it's yet to be seen.
I don't think small business owners are very hopeful that there's going to be any great net new deal. If anything, that they're starting to realize that they need to figure out how do they make things work for themselves.
And with all of this uncertainty, I'm told that the survey found about a third of small businesses are going to be taking out additional financing over the next 6 months just to get by, with some cutting staff. And now all eyes are on negotiations and what governments will do next as livelihoods are on the line. Craig Krause, CTV News, Vancouver.
A new poll suggests voters in Vancouver are split on Mayor Ken Sim and his ABC council, and many are looking south to New York for inspiration. The poll by Research Co. finds nearly 3 in 5 residents want a mayor and council like New York's Zoran Mamdani, focused on bold affordability moves. The poll shows divided views on Sim and ABC, with roughly a third of voters calling for new leadership. Another quarter says ABC's policies don't work and want different ideas, while 27% are willing to stick with the current mayor and council. On the issue of eliminating the park board, 70% of voters think a referendum is needed. A Squamish man plunges 40 meters while climbing an ice wall in Colorado, leaving him in the ICU with multiple fractures and a long road to recovery. He had travel insurance, but his family is still stuck with a massive hospital bill, and they just want him home. His story in a moment, but first, a rainy look at Robson Street. Not a lot of people out there, and it is a soggy start to the weekend, Lou.
Yes, but it won't last, so that is the good news. That is right. Wet right now, but things will dry up quite nicely. Heading into tomorrow, here's a look at temperatures across the lower mainland right now. 7 at the harbour as well as in North Vancouver. You are looking at 8 degrees in Abbotsford, 9 in Chilliwack. As we head through the overnight, we'll see overcast skies, a mild 7 degrees. Into tomorrow, it's going to be a warm one. Mostly cloudy skies with some sunny breaks and a high of 12.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next trip by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
And it'll be sunny and warm in a couple of days. I've got those details coming up.
All right. Thanks, Anne. A Squamish man is lucky to be alive after falling 40 meters while ice climbing in the U.S. While he underwent surgery in a hospital in Colorado, his wife learned their travel insurance won't cover the enormous cost of his treatment and transportation back to BC. As CTV's Shannon Patterson reports, friends and the climbing community are now stepping up to help.
Like many Squamish residents, 46-year-old Vratislav Durek loves the outdoors.
He just loves adventure of all kinds. He's an amazing skier, amazing climber.
10 months ago, Durek and his wife embarked on a year-long road trip through North and Central America.
We've just recently visited them during their travels in the U.S. and celebrated New Year's together. It's just insane to face where we are with reality.
On January 24th, Durek was ice climbing with friends in Colorado when he fell 40 meters to the ground below, shattering bones in his face, pelvis, arms, and legs.
That's not a fall that you would expect most people to survive. So it's just a miracle that he did.
Vajo is a brother to me.
Close friend Pierre Carrot immediately traveled from Jasper to Grand Junction, Colorado to be by Durek's side in hospital.
They were telling me from over there that it was in really rough shape and I would have to get ready to see him. His face was like all swelled up and his jaw was like really like damaged.
As Durek underwent extensive facial reconstruction surgery, his wife realized their travel insurance didn't cover extreme sports like ice climbing.
Because of how the activity is classified, the insurance coverage was denied, which just means that all of the medical costs have to be covered privately. And that just adds so much weight to a situation that's already so overwhelming.
So Durek's best friend started a GoFundMe to help cover the mounting costs.
First things first was to raise enough money to pay for the medevac. So these are private companies and they need to be paid upfront before they bring an airplane, an ambulance airplane to Colorado to fly him over to Vancouver.
He will need support for a long time, but we'll be there for him.
For Carrot and Dallaire, it's a chance to give back. When they lost their home in the Jasper wildfires, Durek invited them to live with him in Squamish.
It's our turn and we're paying it forward.
Just the most important thing is that we still have him with us.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
The province says it's already surpassed its 2023 goal of saving 2,000 affordable homes in 3 years with money to spare in its rental protection fund.
By surpassing that goal in under 3 years, we're showing that protecting homes people already rely on is one of the most impactful tools we have to ease pressure on renters.
The provincial housing minister says $150 million of the $500 million fund remains. It was created in 2023 to help nonprofit housing providers buy rental buildings at risk of being lost to the private market. To date, nearly 2,200 homes have been saved. New purchases include 40 homes in Vancouver's Grand Woodlands area and 37 units in White Rock. An independent report is raising alarm about the state of BC's forest industry, saying the current system is failing and is in need of major change. The report from the Provincial Forestry Advisory Council says the forest management model is built for a different era and is now suffering job losses, mill curtailments, and closures. It lays out 4 key recommendations, including creating a modern forestry inventory and shifting to area-based land management with long-term planning. The Minister of Forests has already committed to moving the industry from volume-based to area-based harvesting.
Moving us towards a working forest model that can ensure that we have a sustainable harvest that allows these mills throughout British Columbia to be creating good paying jobs.
Adds that while the province was provided a copy of these recommendations a few weeks back, it's still too early to say what will be adopted from this report. The council says even if these recommendations were adopted today, they could take up to 5 years to implement. And with the industry teetering on collapse, that likely means more job losses on the horizon. Well, she's a fierce little bear cub with an equally fierce name. She's Valkyrie, found badly injured in the snow over Christmas. Volunteers rushed to save her life, and we've got an update on her progress coming up. And later,
I think it'll be a proud moment for the whole country.
We're also very nervous.
shooting for the moon, the Canadian astronaut getting ready to make history, and the latest on the countdown to launch day. As CTV News continues, stay with us. A bear cub that was badly burned in a slash pile fire is making a remarkable recovery after weeks of intensive care at a rescue center in Smithers. The Northern Lights Wildlife Society says the cub named Valkyrie is now bandage-free and standing on both front legs. The center has announced it is also taking in another cub. This one found malnourished between Vernon and Lumbee. Staff say it's too early to know if the young bear will recover. To Vancouver Island now, where a local state of emergency and evacuation order in the Comox Valley have been lifted. It comes after flooding on Friday forced people out of their homes, with some now having to start over. CTV's Andy Garland explains.
Well, this was the campsite. People living at the Maple Pool Campground and RV Park in Courtenay are cleaning up after Friday's flood.
The water came up to here.
I was wading through it. I was about probably 4 feet deep in the water.
And unfortunately for Bradley and Matthew, The surging floodwaters have most likely destroyed their homes.
It's a lot worse than I initially thought. We came in and started cleaning, and it's pretty extensive damage, water damage.
I've been here 2 years. This is the first experience I have in it. And of course now my home's demolished now.
The highway to Gold River is now reopened after a washout closed the road, and the Comox Valley Regional District rescinded the evacuation orders over the weekend, which forced roughly 150 people to leave their homes.
There's still a reception center at Lower Native Sons Hall on Cliff Street here in Courtenay for people who need a bit of support while they're trying to sort things out.
The combination of heavy rain, snowmelt, and king tides was the perfect storm to cause a flood event not seen around these parts for more than a decade.
2014 was the last time I saw a flood of this magnitude, and I've been in my third year as chair now, and I've never had to declare a state of emergency before.
As Bradley and Matthew salvage what they can, they are thankful for the tight-knit community in which they live and are up on their 2 feet already because of it.
We have a friend just up here, and he moved into a new trailer. Okay. So we're using his old trailer until we either fix ours or get a different one.
Luckily, I have the best girlfriend in the world. She has a trailer that she's going to have me staying in, so this one will be replaced, hopefully.
The regional district says they continue to monitor the conditions, and having less rain in the upcoming forecast will help. Andy Garland, CTV News, Comox Valley.
A First Nation on Vancouver Island is warning its members not to travel to the United States. Huu-ay-aht First Nation has issued a travel advisory because of the immigration crackdown in the U.S. Members who can usually cross with a status card under treaty rights are now being urged to also carry passports and birth certificates if traveling to the States.
We are concerned that immigration enforcement isn't entirely aware of how that works, and therefore an enhanced status card or other types of identification may not be enough. We have quite a big branch of one of the major families of our community live in the Bellingham area, as well as a strong core of citizens who live in California.
The nation says the advisory is precautionary as no issues have been reported so far. In southern Alberta, the Blood Tribe has also issued a travel advisory, citing reports that status cards have not been respected. After the break, it could be the biggest defense purchase in Canada's history.
It's a big, big procurement. This is going to be a relationship with the winner for years, decades to come.
We'll take you to South Korea, where they're pushing hard to build a dozen new submarines for Canada's Navy. And one of these subs is coming to BC for a test drive. CTV gets an exclusive look next. Flames and thick smoke could be seen rising from a marina in Sydney, just north of Victoria, after a fire early Sunday morning. 3 70-foot luxury yachts were fully involved by the time crews arrived. Firefighters spent about 90 minutes knocking down the blaze. Nearby boats also suffered heat damage. Officials say determining the cause will be extremely difficult.
Obviously, the severity of the fire, the amount damaged will make that difficult in itself, and that is just, exacerbated by the fact that it's now on the bottom of the ocean. So, finding or arriving at a cause it's not impossible, but it will be difficult, and it'll be completely dependent upon what we can examine and what they can recover off the bottom.
The chief says the yachts were likely moored for the winter and nobody was on board at the time. Crews say a lot of fuel and debris went into the water. An environmental assessment is now underway. South Korea is pulling out all the stops to win the bid to build Canada's next generation of submarines. CTV News has learned plans are in the works to sail one of the submarines across the Pacific here to Canada this spring. Here's CTV's Judy Trin with the exclusive story.
A deep dive into what could be the biggest defense procurement in Canada's history, the purchase of up to 12 submarines.
Because this has now evolved into a government-to-government situation. It's a big, big procurement. This is going to be a relationship with the winner for years, decades to come.
To persuade, the South Korean Navy plans to sail the KSS-3 submarine across the Pacific and dock in British Columbia, a journey that will take 2 months.
Your hands up here.
Okay. CTV News also got to see Hanwha's pitch up close. We couldn't film because of security protocols, but the attack submarine holds about 50 sailors. It launches vertical missiles that target land and has torpedoes. But the deciding factor will rest on economic benefits. To win the contract, Hanwha is pledging to help hard-hit businesses, like investing $345 million in Algoma to buy its steel and help it build a plant to make beams.
It's been tough as tariffs have been in place for a year and half of our business has gone away.
While some companies are hurting, others are looking for ways to expand. Using robotic technology, Hanwha builds 45 ships annually on its assembly line. Speed, Ontario's shipyards want to emulate.
I mean, what they do here is cutting edge. It's absolutely fantastic. If we can bring just a fraction of that to Canada, I think us as a country would be a lot further ahead in our shipbuilding endeavors.
The deadline for Hanwha and TKMS to submit their bids is March 2nd. It's a deal that could be worth $100 billion spread over more than 3 decades. It's investment that Canada needs to protect itself from Donald Trump's trade war. Judy Trin, CTV News, Koje, South Korea.
The U.S. president has ruled out military force to take over Greenland, but today the prime minister of the semi-autonomous territory reminded lawmakers that Donald Trump still wants to acquire the island. Jens Frederick Nielsen told Parliament his government will continue to increase dialogue with Western countries and Denmark and work for even closer cooperation with the EU. Diplomatic talks between the U.S., Denmark and Greenland began last week. Trump has said America must have Greenland because of national security concerns related to Russia and China. Some European NATO allies say the issue threatens to fracture the alliance. A crucial test is underway at the Kennedy Space Center, where a massive rocket is being fueled up. As early as Sunday, it could carry Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and others into space for a flyby of the moon. Today's test was marred by a fuel leak that was resolved, but is raising questions about whether the historic mission will still proceed. CTV's John Venevali-Rao reports.
After rolling out to the launch pad 2 weeks ago, this massive NASA rocket's now undergoing a final critical test, what's called a wet dress rehearsal, loaded with fuel during a practice countdown. And depending on how things go, Canadian Jeremy Hansen could blast off in less than a week, with the moon mission seeming like it could finally happen.
Now there's an actual rocket on the launch pad, pointing in the right place, and there's the moon somewhere not kind of lined up, and now we're actually putting fuel on it.
There were no astronauts on board today. All 4 remain in quarantine, awaiting the green light for a launch attempt. A mission that'll see them go on a 10-day lunar flyby on a rocket and capsule that have never carried people before, with Hansen set to become the first non-American ever to go around the moon.
To see our beloved Jeremy Hansen going up there, Canadian. This is just a really exciting moment for the world, but it's especially exciting for Canada.
The Artemis rocket did suffer a fuel leak today, but the team seemed to work around the problem. It could potentially launch on the 8th, 10th, or 11th, failing that early March or April, with the astronauts prepared to fly on Sunday.
The crew are assuming that's their launch date, so they will be ready.
All that as concerns are again being expressed about the Orion capsule's heat shield, which during an uncrewed test in 2022 was damaged unexpectedly during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere.
Enormous chunks of the heat shield came off. Fortunately, not enough to cause catastrophic failure, but certainly enough to send alarm bells ringing all over NASA.
Some think the risk is unacceptable, but NASA has said if astronauts had been on board, they would have survived, and it has since modified the re-entry angle. Meanwhile, NASA has said it won't set a specific launch date until it has reviewed the data from today's test, which could take another day or two. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
A bill aimed at providing GST relief to help with the cost of groceries will be fast-tracked through Parliament after MPs voted unanimously to support a Conservative motion today to speed up the legislation.
We have a crisis in this country for millions of families and millions in line at a food bank, and we want to see real relief.
The Conservatives say that while they'll back the government's bill, they're calling on the Prime Minister to go further and offer more tax relief to offset high food prices. Well, coming up, it's Groundhog Day, which means we have some furry forecasters to consult about whether winter is sticking around. And I'm not talking about Anne. Plus,
all that was going through my head is, God save me, God help me. This is completely out of my control.
how an Ottawa realtor was able to walk away from a wild crash that sent her little SUV right into the cab of a transport truck. We'll be right back. Welcome back. An Ontario woman says she is lucky to be alive after she walked away from a horrific crash involving a transport truck. Miraculously, the other driver was also unhurt. Shocking images from the scene showing Brittany Savage's car inside the cab of a truck. The 27-year-old realtor was driving west on Highway 401 on January 26th, the morning after a snowstorm, when she says a transport truck driving the opposite direction tipped over, slid across the median and crashed into her SUV. Savage says she wasn't injured because her car collided with the hollow roof on the truck cab.
I don't know. Is this adrenaline that's completely pumping through my body why I feel okay? Is something more serious going on? Or is it just that God just saved my life and I'm perfectly fine, which is what I thought in that moment, which is what it's proved.
So far, no charges have been laid in the crash, and police say the investigation is ongoing. It is Groundhog Day, and according to groundhogs in this part of the country, it's going to be a long winter in Western Canada, while the east can expect an early spring. Weather experts say the various critters and mascots could be correct, but winters are becoming less predictable. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
On Groundhog Day, we put our trust in nature to help predict the weather. What is that? There's definitely going to be 6 more weeks of winter. That is more or less what happened for groundhogs in Western Canada. Van Island Violet, Balzac Billy, and Manitoba Merv all saw their shadows after emerging from their dens, predicting a long winter ahead. Environment and Climate Change Canada suggests the opposite.
So I look at the map here and it shows all Alberta. It looks like it's on fire. I mean, it is absolutely showing warmer than normal. The confidence very high that is what's going to happen.
Climatologist David Phillips says predicting the weather months into the future is becoming more challenging for scientists.
There's competing forces. It's not just El Nino and La Nina. It's climate change. It's polar vortex. It's all kinds of things that kind of mess up what the forecast should be.
On Groundhog Day, we put our trust in nature to help predict the weather. I don't like that. That's an omen of cold. Out east, the groundhogs are predicting an early spring. That includes Lucy the lobster in Barrington, Nova Scotia. Whether they're correct or not, it's all a bit much for Phillips.
You've got stuffed groundhogs. You've got people dressed up in groundhog. You got the real authentic groundhog. I mean, come on.
Even if the rodents are right about 6 more weeks of winter on the prairies, Phillips figures that's good news, since a winter that ends in mid-March is a deal most Albertans would take. On Groundhog Day, we put our trust in nature to help predict the... Wait a minute, this feels very familiar. You know, it turns out predicting weather long-term is actually difficult, even for the experts. So I think I will leave this to the marmots and meteorologists. That, though, I do not like that. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
I like how we had more things.
I know. I was like, what is going on there? What is happening to him?
All right. Well, Anne, what can you tell us? Maybe not long term, but short term.
Well, short term, it's going to feel and look like spring. So that's good news for us on the South Coast after the torrential downpour that we had earlier today and over the weekend. But first, let's say goodbye to January. We saw a high of 7.9 on average for the month, which is slightly above the seasonal average, warmer than normal for the overnight lows. And we saw 143.3 millimeters of rain. slightly below the seasonal average of 162.1 degrees. We do have a low offshore that is going to bring in some wet weather and windy conditions for Haida Gwaii as well as the north coast. As you can see on our storm tracker, as we head through the overnight into tomorrow morning, we will stay dry for the south coast, and then as we head through the afternoon, a few breaks in there, so it will be a mostly cloudy day. This is how things will fare. Tonight we'll see overcast skies. That's how we'll start off the day tomorrow morning. Mostly cloudy conditions with some sunny breaks. Same goes for noon, and then overcast conditions as we head into 3 o'clock with a high of 12 degrees, 10 degrees by 6 o'clock tomorrow night. You'll see overcast conditions as well for the central interior. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Sunny breaks for Port Hardy tomorrow with a high of 11. Cloudy skies for Campbell River and Comox, 11 degrees as well. Tofino and Port Alberni, temperatures between 11 and 13 with some showers. Cloudy skies from Nanaimo right down to Victoria. You'll see cloudy conditions for the Sunshine Coast in 11, a touch cooler up the Sea to Sky Highway, 10 for Squamish, 8 for Whistler under a mix of sun and cloud, and for us across the lower mainland, mostly cloudy skies, warm temperatures between 12 and 13 degrees. Look at Wednesday, 14 under a mix of sun and cloud. Blue sky sunshine on Thursday with a high of 11. It does cloud over on Friday, still 10 degrees with some sunny breaks, and then rain returns Saturday afternoon. Continuing to Sunday, Monday we'll see cloudy skies with showers, cooler, back to seasonal with a high of 8. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacation. So it looks like spring as we head into the next few days.
I'll take it. Thanks, Pam.
You're welcome.
Well, music's biggest night made a lot of noise in Los Angeles Sunday evening. As the Grammy Awards put the spotlight on artists, many used their platform to speak out against the immigration crackdown in the U.S. CTV's Andrea Case explains.
What I do, if I didn't love you, baby.
Four-time Grammy nominee Justin Bieber seemingly serenaded his wife Hailey Bieber in what host Trevor Noah called a captivating performance. This was Noah's 6th and final turn as host.
I believe in term limits. Yeah, I wanted to set an example for anyone who might be watching the show. You know, just leave when your time is up.
And there were more messages to anyone listening in the White House.
Bad Bunny!
The Puerto Rican superstar is set to perform at next week's Super Bowl and as such was not allowed to perform on the Grammy stage.
I'm gonna say, eyes out.
He used the platform to send a strong message.
We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans and we are Americans. The hate get more powerful with more hate. The only thing that is more powerful than hate is love.
He wasn't alone. Best New Artist winner, Olivia Dean.
I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I wouldn't be here. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated. So yeah, we're nothing without each other. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you so much. Bye.
A number of those in attendance wore Ice Out pins, including Song of the Year winners Phineas and Billie Eilish.
No one is illegal on stolen land. I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter and the people matter.
Andrea Case, CTV News.
After the break, a dream trip turns into a nightmare.
It hurts. You know, so much money down the drain.
How this grandmother's plans to take her grandkids on an amazing vacation was grounded at the gate.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. A super soggy scene on the south side of the mighty Fraser as the Barnston Island Ferry gets ready to cross Parsons Channel under heavy overcast skies.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 73 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down $3.07 to close the day at $62.14 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost $92.50 on the day. The TSX and Dow Jones both ended the day up higher. The TSX up 260 points, the Dow up 515. The federal government has mailed out some $2 billion in paper checks to Canadians that remain uncashed. The nearly 4 million uncashed checks were revealed in documents recently tabled in Parliament. They include $141 million in checks from the Canada Carbon Rebate Program and nearly $43 million in checks from the Canada Child Benefit. Many families are planning trips to get a break from the cold weather, and many are expecting to fly south during the March break. If you're traveling with grandchildren or nephews and nieces, you need more than just their passports, or you might not be allowed on the plane. CTV's Pat Foran reports.
It was very sad, you know.
Avita Gordon of Brampton was going to Jamaica with her husband for a wedding. They decided to travel with their grandchildren as Gordon's daughter had flown ahead as she was in the wedding party. But when they were boarding the plane, there was a problem.
I asked for a letter for the grandkids to show that, I have permission to travel with the grandkids. I said I don't have one.
Gordon was told without documents showing the children were allowed to fly with her, they could not board the flight. All 4 of them ended up not getting on the plane.
I wanted to give the grandchildren a trip with myself, and I didn't get on the flight. It hurts, so much money down the drain.
The couple had to buy new airline tickets the next day, and the grandchildren had to stay home with relatives. This happened in December of 2024, but the Gordons had been seeking a refund from Air Transat, which was denied. A spokesperson for the airline told CTV News the children were traveling with their grandparents without a parental authorization letter, which is a mandatory requirement when minors travel without their parents or legal guardians. This rule exists to protect minors and prevent child abduction.
It is heartbreaking because it's something that I think people just don't think about when they're booking that trip and when they're making their way to the airport because they're just excited to be going, right?
Travel expert Jennifer Weatherhead says it's important to have the proper documents when traveling with a minor or you will be denied boarding.
You need their passport, birth certificate, parental consent, and that letter should be notarized to make sure that it is okay. You need to have proof of your relationship to the child as well, and then any kind of custody documentation.
You'll find travel information on the federal government's website and how to write a consent letter. Gordon wanted to warn other grandparents what happened to them.
If anybody's traveling with young kids, I advise them, make sure you get a letter of permission to take the grandchildren or whoever you're taking with you.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Cosmetics giant Estee Lauder has been fined $750,000 after pleading guilty to using a forever chemical in some eyeliner products. The cosmetics company pleaded guilty last month in an Ontario court. The ingredient is a substance that Environment and Climate Change Canada says does not degrade easily. Cosmetics companies have used it to boost the durability of products. Following the recent conviction, Estee Lauder's name will be added to Canada's Environmental Offenders Registry. It's a list detailing corporations' offences committed under certain environmental laws. After the break, a race to the finish. Well, they're furiously trying to finish the hockey arena for the Winter Olympics, which start in 4 days. And later, unstoppable smile. Adam finds out why this raw egg has been kept in a family's fridges for 60 years. Next on the Sawatsky sign-off. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
What are you doing every day that puts you at greater risk for heart disease or stroke? Tuesday on Your Morning Vancouver, it's Heart Month. What a new report is saying about the lifestyle and medical factors that are impacting Canadians. Plus, beating the winter blahs, how getting outside is a prescription to improving your mood, and some local trails to help you on your way. We'll see you in the morning.
A floating parade kicked off the 2026 Venice Carnival. A giant floating papier-mâché rat led the procession of boats and floats that wound their way through the city's canals on Sunday. The 2-week festival has an Olympic theme with the Winter Games set to start nearby on Friday. Well, there is a setback for Canada's Olympic figure skating team. 2024 world champions Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps will not compete in the team event at Milan Cortina. The Canadian Olympic Committee says Stellato-Dudek was injured during training. Canadian champions Leah Pereira and Trent Michaud will compete in the pairs portion of the team event instead. The COC says Stellato-Dudek's condition will be monitored to see if she can compete in the individual pairs event scheduled for February 14th. Olympic organizers are racing against the clock to finish a brand new ice hockey arena in Milan before the 2026 Winter Games kick off. A delayed start and slow progress in the construction has become one of the biggest headaches leading up to the Games. But the IOC says everything will be ready when competition begins on Friday as Italy faces off against France in women's hockey.
Every game's it's a big race to the deadline. Just because the games are at deadline, you can't move, so you have to deliver on deadline. So whenever you have such a project with such a firm deadline, it's going to be a race to the finish.
The arena will hold more than 15,000 fans and is one of 2 new venues being built in Milan for the Games. It will also be the first Olympics with NHL players since 2014. I'm guessing there's no Lucky Looney at center ice. Maybe they put something in there for Italy's team, but not our team. Well, not everybody enjoys snow days, but these guys don't seem to mind one bit. Penguins at the Pittsburgh Zoo are melting hearts after video captured them eagerly running out of their enclosure to take advantage of freshly fallen snow. These penguins could be seen slipping and sliding in the winter wonderland scene, much to the delight of onlookers. Better than them us.
Yes, exactly. They're so happy.
I know. Well, you know, a good frolic is what they needed. Before we get to the Swatsky sign-off, Lauren, what are you working on for the Late Show tonight?
Nafisa, we are continuing to follow that tragic highway crash in Alberta that claimed the lives of 3 junior hockey players, 2 of those players from here in BC. Condolences are already pouring in throughout the hockey world and across the country, including the Prime Minister taking to social media tonight. We'll have the latest at 11.
All right. Thank you, Lauren. Well, finally, Adam finds out why a Vancouver Island man has kept the same egg in his fridge for more than 50 years. On tonight's Sawatsky sign-off, the story behind Egbert and how he still hasn't cracked.
When David Jevney was almost 6 years old, he woke up before his parents on Easter morning, took a raw egg out of the fridge, and drew a face on it.
Why not? Doesn't everybody draw a face on an egg at Easter and put it back in the fridge?
David doesn't remember why he did it or why his parents kept it, but he can't forget it being a constant while growing up.
And when you open the fridge door, you would always see it looking back at you.
More than a decade later, after David moved out, the egg stayed put.
A little bit of family history.
Does it have a name?
Egbert. With 2 G's. There's no better name for an egg. It's the only name for an egg.
Egbert remained in his parents' fridge, uncracked and uncooked for 50 years, until they passed away and David packed it up to move in with him and his wife, Lise.
The reaction was probably, oh my goodness, okay, well, do we have to take it to the next house we're moving to?
But after moving with the egg 5 times since, Lise has grown to appreciate it every day.
It's like, oh, right, there's Egbert. So good morning. Yeah, I haven't said good morning, but I'm probably saying it in my mind to him. Yeah.
And soon they'll be saying happy birthday to him. Because although Egbert's insides have started rattling,
he's still in there.
His outside remains unscathed.
Not one crack.
Egbert's kind of inspirational.
He is. He's strong.
And he's set to celebrate being 60 years old. How long is Egbert going to stay in the fridge?
Forever. As long as I'm here. And the older you get, the neater it is.
And the older we get, the more precious we realize life is. So when we can find something that connects us with our past and improves our present, why not preserve it into the future?
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct. Call and talk to our team today.
Every family has a weird heirloom. Theirs is an egg. I love the wife's reaction, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, happy 60th birthday, Egbert.
I was going to say, now she says hi to it every morning, even if it's in her head.
Soon Egbert will say hi back. It's going to take a life of its own.
I think so, unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. A soggy day in Squamish at Alice Lake. Thanks, Katie, for sending this one in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
I am looking forward to it getting a little drier, some sun on Thursday. I can't wait. The scenic snapshots will maybe lighten up with lots of sun. That is all for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. You can catch Lauren at 11:30. Good night.
Good night.